A man who has white nationalist ties is charged by local authorities who say he put a gun to his wife's head at their home in Rock Hill and forced her and their children to drive to Florida. Augustus Invictus was arrested back in December and extradited from Florida to South Carolina. Now, in 2016, Invictus ran for the U.S. Senate in the state of Florida, and in several interviews clearly expresses controversial views and ideologies. CN2's Indira Esquiva with an exclusive interview with a woman who says she drove to the bond hearing from Florida because she is a victim of Invictus.
One page reads, "I decide what is worthy of existence. I decide who lives and who dies. I am to judge humanity and its fruit."
Rock Hill detective Matthew Beach says these words were written by Augustus Invictus in his journal. Authorities say Invictus wasn't just threatening on paper, but in real life and against his own wife.
He pulled out my hair by the handfuls. He's torn off my clothes, ripping them. He violently choked me on multiple occasions.
The victim, who asked not to be identified, says Invictus pointed a gun to her head after he suspected she was unfaithful to him and then made her drive to Florida with their children. Detective Beach says the victim's life is now in danger because she reported the abuse.
The only way this movement can survive is by becoming self-regulating. Protect your own, annihilate traitors. Again, signed by the defendant. Now, the victim has told me her actions in this case caused her to be considered a traitor by the defendant.
Invictus's attorney says there is not enough evidence against his client.
It's just his word against hers on any of that, and her word didn't come out until days later after all kinds of crazy accusations in the meantime that have zero evidence to support them and every bit of evidence to show that that was not what was occurring.
Alexandria, who did not want us to use her last name, drove from Florida to be at the bond hearing. She says she met Invictus as part of a research paper she was working on and became one of his victims after she says she helped his ex-fiancé report alleged abuse.
I was never physically assaulted by him, but the way that he can obtain addresses, send his followers after people, work his legal expertise.
Witnesses testified that women have filed police reports in the past against Augustus Invictus, but his attorney says prior to this incident, he has never been arrested and does not have a criminal record. In York County, Indira Esquiva, CN2 News.
Now, interestingly, Invictus's attorney says Invictus is a member of the Florida bar. Again, his bond was denied.